Love Wins by the Stewards. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm your host, B-Level.
I'm your girl, Netta.
And we're bringing you another episode of our podcast, which is called Love Wins by the Stewards. This is episode number, this is season 3, episode number 5, right?
5, yes.
Yep. And we haven't been with you for a while because we have just been so busy. But the wife got on to me, I guess last week, that we needed to finish our season of podcasts. So we're back in your lives, back in your evenings, back on your social media now. So let's pay a little couple of bills. This podcast specializes in relationships and anything for the culture, by the culture. And so we need to pay a little bills about talking about first about how these people can follow our podcast page, right? So why don't you tell them where they can see, hear, or listen to the podcast? Everywhere. All right. What about see it visually? How do they see it? I know they can hear us.
Go to YouTube. The audio video is on YouTube under Brian Stewart Sr.
Right. And then the audio part of it,
audio is anywhere you can listen to a podcast. So I say it all the time, the same ones. Google, Apple, Anchor, wherever you can listen to a podcast, search for Love Wins by the Stewards. And yeah, you can find our videos there. I don't like that glare in the mirror.
Love Wins by the Stewards. Just search for that. And please follow and like our podcast source wherever you find it. Please like it, and so that you can get notifications when we have new episodes, right? We're also streaming on our social media, right? Because we like our podcast to be very interactive. We like you to ask questions. We answer your questions on the spot. So we are.
And we may bring you on. If you want to come on as a guest or we're on live, we can bring you on. So if you don't mind showing your face on live, if you don't want to show your face on live, you just want your voice to be heard, you can call in and block your phone, your video, however. But yeah, so we do expect for you guys to be interactive, ask questions, comment as you normally do. We normally have a really good audience. So do those things. Ask questions, like, share, comment, be interactive. Here we are. We're back.
Yeah, and so that's
why,
a
hiatus. But we're back.
And so that's why we put it on our social media, because we wanted you to be interactive with us. So please chime in if you're responding to something that we're talking about. Please make sure to respond in complete sentences, so that we can know, because your response comes across a little bit delayed. So we might have moved on. So we need to be able to refer back and understand your question or your comment as a whole, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that just basically means when you're responding to something, just say, I agree with such and such said, this is such and such, rather than just saying no, yes, whatever, because we have no idea what you're saying yes or no to. So
we're going to start trying to film this thing. Have we come up with a specific date yet, babe, that we're going to try to do this? No. Somewhere in between Sunday and Tuesday evening, right? Right, Netta?
I guess
somewhere in between those days. All right, so that's why it's so important for you to get your notifications, so that when we get a new episode, you will you will get notified. All right. So since we've broadcast live, we've had several deaths, right? I mean, a lot of people have passed away. I think since we last recorded, we lost Tara, right? So she was Tara Hortford. Is that Horton?
Tara. So if you guys watched our podcast last season, was she on first and second season? So last season, anybody that's familiar with Tara, I think she was on second season. She was on a live panel that we did. I think both live panels. She was on 2 live panels we did.
Yes.
One was kind of considered to be a reunion show where we brought all male and females that we had on the show. And then also another one that we did was basically talking about, I think, relationship, being single, so single women. So she was a very big personality. I didn't really know her, I guess, like per se, kind of through social media. However, like when we met her, like when she came up, it's like, hey, I want to be on the show with you guys. I was like, oh yeah, she cool in a mug. Like she's just so real. She's very flamboyant, huge personality.
Outspoken.
Very outspoken. Just this, to me, I mean, she didn't take no mess, but she was like this teddy bear of a person. So everybody knew she didn't play, but she was still like this just very affectionate person for me. So.
And she was on the all-female show, right?
Yes, she was on the single female show. Yes.
And so we then had an all-male show, and we actually lost a person that was on our all male show. How ironic is that, babe? Like you know what I'm saying? Like how ironic. We also lost a real dear friend who has probably been my friend for over 27 years. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, it is Joel No Name Ratliff, DJ No Name, who actually some time ago gave me my first start in radio. I've worked in radio for almost 12 to 15 years, but I was always on the business side of radio. And DJ No Name, once he came back to Arkansas and they hired him to be the program director of the old Hot 96.5, he said, man, I'm going to put you on the radio. And so he gave me my first opportunity. Outside of being one of my best friends, he gave me my first opportunity in radio. And we lost him on last Tuesday, right, baby? That's when we lost DJ No Name. And so just keep us in your prayers because, as we say, Tara had become a really good friends of my wife and I, and
yes,
DJ
absolutely.
No Name as well. So keep our families, keep their families, keep their sisters, their children, their wives, their kids, all of their families in your prayers. And I think we should name, I'm going to share the episode that DJ No Name was on after we finished taping. And if it's all right with you, baby, I'd like to name this show in recognition of DJ No Name, if that's all right with you.
I'm cool with that. You know, listen, I want you guys to know. So I have to tell this story because I want to tell it later. But so as I just gave this description of Tara, my husband would always call her, what would you call her, Tiara? Tara.
Yeah.
And she's like, stop calling me that. That's not my name. Stop calling me that. So every time he's like, okay, beloved, stop calling me that. So I have the same description of No Name, right? So everyone knows that he has this huge personality. He has this really, really big personality. He was very arrogant, very cocky. Like he was that guy. He was that guy, right?
Right.
So this is like an initial when my husband and I first started dating. So we started dating. We were at this event. So we were at this event. He and I had just came back in town and telling business without telling business. So my husband got caught up.
This is your first time meeting?
This is my first time.
Okay, all right,
this is my first time
meeting.
Okay, yeah. So this is my first time having interaction with him. I'd seen him at a few events that, my husband had prior to this being my husband. So I saw him at a few events. Nevertheless, this is our first interaction. So we go to this event that my husband is hosting. So we have this event and he's there. So my husband got caught up a little bit because he had food.
Well, don't preface it. We didn't
caught
caught up because you and I, we already know what it was.
Right.
Don't try to make it seem like I had a lot of stuff going on.
You did. Okay. So he got caught up a little bit. And then, so I went over to the table to say something to him. Nothing crazy or whatever. I went over to the table to say something to him. And he was like, all right, I got you. Just go over there. I'll be over there in a minute or whatever. And I'm like, are you shunning me off or whatever?
You talking about me?
Yes.
No Name.
Yes. You were like, go over there. I'll be over there in a second or whatever. So I'm like, is he shunning me? Like, is he shunning me off or whatever? And so I was like, well, no, because I'm talking to you. And No Name turned around and was like, didn't you hear what he said? He got that accent. He had a very thick.
Did you not hear what he said?
A very thick accent. His accent was very thick and was like, did you hear what he said? Like, he said, go to the table and he got you. I was like, I wasn't even talking to you, sir. But anyway, that was our first kind of interaction. And there was a continuous. Yes, it was just a continuous big personality. Really good dude. Really, really good dude. He really, really put Arkansas on the map, in my opinion, as it relates to these just being a disc jockey or whatever you guys call it, whatever. But nevertheless, he was a really good friend of my husband's. And so, of course, anything and anyone that he loves, I love as well. So it absolutely, make sure you guys keep his family, Nakia. Nakia and I became really good friends in the brink of my husband's relationship with No Name. And so I can never imagine losing my husband. So I don't know what that looks like, what that feels like. That's a pain that I would not want to endure. But I can say hearing communication from her to, my husband, she's I have so much admiration for the strength and courage that she's shown since, No Name has passed away. So anyway, so just make sure you keep her specifically as his wife and his children and just his whole family in you guys' prayers when you say prayers for tonight.
So there was a really big void left in my life. He and I, we were on the air together, so we saw each other every day. But after we got off the air, we didn't really see each other or talk to each other every day. But, it was never a dull moment when I talked to him. It was always very entertaining. It was always uplifting. He was always trying to get his health together.
Yeah.
And so it's a very big hole left in my heart for this guy. He was different than all of my other friends. I think all my friends are kind of very different. Like all of them, he was just so different from the rest of my friends. He was like no other. A lot of people did not get along with him. You had to know he had a really big heart for people, and even though he was pretty straightforward about what he wanted to do, he really had a big heart. He did. Absolutely. He is responsible for a lot of radio careers that started in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Just what he done with that radio and several radio stations going against the big giant urban radio station in the market. Was just phenomenal. The man knew radio. He had worked in so many other markets, and we were blessed to have him on the air and responsible for a lot of these radio stations because he was just so talented. He was just so talented.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna name this episode in memory of DJ No Name. Okay.
Cool.
And then last but not least, we also went to shout out to prayers for Blake Moody. He lost his daughter, right?
Yes. So. I guess it would kind of bring us on the brink of talking about this COVID thing. So, I promise you, we're going to get to the messy stuff y'all like in a minute. But kind of bring us to kind of talk about the brink of this whole COVID thing. So, as my husband said, I guess a mutual friend of ours lost his daughter. And I want to say that she didn't have any pre-existing conditions or anything else. She just kind of got RSV. And I think she turned 1 probably a month or so ago. So anyway, she just, got RSV and ended up passing away from it. So make sure that you guys are protecting these babies. Don't let everybody get them, hug them, kiss on them. As adults, you are there to protect them. And so those that, if you have a runny nose, cough, any cold symptoms, stay from around these children that are unable to take care of themselves and get vaccinated. So yes, absolutely make sure. We attended his baby services and they put her away very nicely. Again, I would have to say that I would admire the strength with Blake, and then I think her name is Gabrielle, for their, just the tenacity of being able to get together and bury their daughter and losing her in such a short period of time. So make sure that you guys just keep them in your prayers as well.
And just to wrap up, we're having a celebration of life for DJ No Name. I think it's going to be somewhere around August the 6th, and I think it's going to be, I'll give details next week. It's going to be really big. It's going to be a celebration of life that Nakia is putting on for him, okay? Yes. And I think the public will be invited, okay? All right, sponsors, real quick. Empire is a sponsor. We're not at Empire. We're not broadcasting at Empire Studios. We are broadcasting from home. If you would like to be a sponsor and sponsor this podcast, send an email to stewart.lovewins@gmail.com. The email again is stewart.lovewins@gmail.com.
Let me ask y'all something. Did y'all get vaccinated? Is that
yes.
Did you get the HIPAA? I know you got vaccinated.
I got vaccinated.
I'm asking the audience. Did y'all get vaccinated? Like, I made a if you follow me on social media, I made a Facebook status that said, all it took for me, this is the truth, because I've been on the fence the whole time. I've been on the fence about really getting this and not getting it and getting it and not getting it. I've been on the fence. But when I think I read something, I read an article, and then also just kind of seeing on the news, especially with Arkansas, the way our numbers are just growing extensively, it really, really took me seeing that these babies are passing away. These babies and these children are passing away from COVID for me to be like, yeah, let me go on and get myself vaccinated and my children. So I don't make decisions for you guys. So if that's your comfortability, I will be very honest and transparent. It was a struggle for me. I struggled for a long time. Even watching my husband go through it, I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want no parts of it. But yeah, I just really had to do it for protection for myself and my family. So make sure you guys go get vaccinated, please.
Please go get vaccinated.
And here's a question I hear everybody ask. So the question typically comes up as, they're saying that there are some people that's currently in the hospital with COVID that has been vaccinated. So one of the major radio stations here had a doctor on, and she basically said that, yeah, that's true. I'm not going to deny it. But we never said that getting the vaccine is going to 100% guarantee you won't get it. What it's basically doing is if you get the vaccine and you end up getting COVID, it's going to protect you. So you may not have the major symptoms that you would have not being vaccinated. So The vaccine is for protection. That's really what it is. So if you happen to get COVID, you may get a little cough, something minor, but you won't lose your life to it, if that's, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so for some odd reason, we're not able to see our people on Facebook, but we shout out some of the people that are on Instagram. We got Joe Phillips. Our son
Hey,
Jaden.
JP.
Yeah, Jaden is watching. Andrea, shout out to her. Duna Davis is on here live as well.
Hey,
I think.
yeah. She said she broke down and got hers today. Good. Thanks.
Yeah, good. So we can now see the comments, huh? So if you scroll up or scroll down, you can see the comments. Can you minimize it so we can see those comments, or how are we going to get them all the way down there?
I have her here.
Okay. All right. So the big topics today that we're talking about, the wife had someone to inbox her, and I don't really understand this first thing that we're going to talk about. So you're going to have to bring me up to speed to what we're actually talking about. It has to do with ghosting. You tagged me on it today. And so was it yesterday? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it was yesterday. And so tell them exactly about what we're going to be talking about as it relates to ghosting. Tell me what that means.
So the person that sent the message to me and said, I think this would be a great topic on the show. They basically said that, discuss how someone pursues you, male and or female. So we're not going to act like it's a sex. That's, whatever. So male and or female pursues you. They go through this process of trying to court you and pursue you. I want to talk to you. They inbox you, DM and all that stuff. And then when you get to the point of finally saying yes, then they ghost you. So ghosting means
they disappear.
They just stop. They stop communication, everything just stops with no explanation. Like it just kind of stops. So you just see. So where does that even come from? Like, here's my opinion. My opinion to that is, why show interest? Why go through all the work? Why go through all the time and consideration? Why go through all that and then get to the point where you just disappear? You just disappear. It's just gone. You're just gone.
Maybe they find out something or see something about you that's a turnoff.
Say that. We're grown.
But I'm saying that's probably why they're doing it. So you're asking why the ghosting. So maybe, and then, a lot of people say the fun is in the chase. All right. So after you accomplish their attention, or you accomplish the opportunity to spend some time with her, whether it be a date or a conversation over the phone, that they might not be interested in.
Say that. You just, I think
everybody is not honest enough to say that when they, I guess a lot of them feel like, okay, I'm just going to go away. This is somebody that I thought I was interested in, but after I found out so and so, or she talked too much, or she too messy, or I see some of the posts that she make on Facebook and she too, she too negative, or you may find some, because obviously you're looking at them through social media.
But
let
me supplement. So let me add a piece that I didn't say. I had to go back and read it because I want to be correct. But Let me add a piece. So the piece that's added to that is that this person pursued this other person for years. So it wasn't just a quick pursuit. So it wasn't a 30-day pursuit, or
chased them for years.
They
Asked
chased
them to go out for years. Yeah.
They were pursuing this person for years, and then after pursuing them for years, and he or she finally said, "Okay, let's do something." And they're like, "Okay, we just gone. I'm just gone. I just disappear."
What would you think would be the reason for somebody doing that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why?
Okay, if you guys are listening, if you've ever, attempted to get someone's attention, maybe through social media, let's say, and then you finally, for years, you asking them out for years, and you finally got them to say yes to maybe a date on you. What would be a reason why you would ghost them? What would be some reasons why you would say, I know I really wanted to go out with you for over a year, and I've been trying for 6 months. Maybe they lost their login to their Facebook page.
What the hell ever?
and they can't respond.
Whatever.
I'm just trying to help this young lady out in figuring out.
Have you ghosted somebody before? Have you ever did that?
I've never ghosted him.
Oh, I have.
I've never attempted to date somebody through. I guess ghosted don't have to be through social media though.
Well,
right?
I never pursued anybody either, but I'm just saying.
You've been ghosted before, is what you're saying.
No, I've ghosted before, but not in the not after the pursuit, because I don't pursue people. So I've done it, and mine has been, it was something that turned me off.
Well, that's what I just said. They noticed something that was. Yeah, but I'm saying
that I've just been like, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. It would be something that they found out that maybe they didn't have privilege of knowing before, that they found out about that person. It was just like you,
For years is what I'm saying.
You never know when you're going to find this important information out that make you want to say, I don't know if I want to get involved. She too messy.
If you've been chasing me for years, you got to know I'm messy. If you've been chasing me for years, listen, if you're pursuing someone for years, male and or female, you pretty much know every aspect. Like,
now, let me ask you the other question. Was this before they went on a date? This is when she said yes, but they never went on the date, right?
I don't believe they went on the date. I believe it's kind of when she said yes. It was kind of when she was like, okay, let me go ahead and give in and attempt to try to do
probably
something.
She probably messy as hell. She probably just so messy.
You're going to find out I'm messy as hell if you're trying to pursue me for years. Like, it's not like it wasn't like a quick chase. The message said years. Like, they've been trying to pursue me for years.
Did you tag her?
I did. Okay. I tagged the person.
So, I have to believe that it was something that was a turnoff. That they didn't notice at first. They thought that you were maybe a cool chick. I don't know if this is a female or maybe a male. They thought you was a cool dude. And then they found out maybe if you're a dude, you don't have any paper, you don't have no job, you're sorry as hell, you don't take care of your kids or whatever. But it had to be something that they found out that made them change their mind.
So those that are watching, let us know if you have been ghosted or you've ghost somebody before. I mean, like I said, I've ghosted people before, but I didn't pursue them. I'm never gonna, because of course, and I think men and women both, when you pursue somebody, especially when it's for years, if you're trying to pursue someone for years, you pretty much know what you need to know. I mean, because of course, if there's something you find out you don't like.
I was about to ghost you.
You're a damn lie.
I pursued you.
You are a damn lie. I
tried to pursue you for over a year. And no, I'm saying, hear me out though. Okay. And when you finally gave me the opportunity, I was getting ready to say, fuck it. Like, I'm just like, I chased you for so long and the fun is in the chase. All right. But you had played these games with me for almost a year. I think I met you in 2012. Was it 2012?
It was 2012.
It was around February, which is my birthday month. And then we didn't really start to date each other and to have to start to hang out until January of 2013. And so you were about to get your ass ghosted. You was about to, you was about for me to say, I'm just going to go away because this is just too hard.
Stop lying.
No, really, no, this is the truth. You ended up saying yes. If you would have waited maybe a month later, your ass would have just been out of there. I just wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Because I had chased you so long. I didn't say yes to anything because I ended up texting you. So it was like, I asked you a question about something. I think I asked you a question about and then I think the conversation went from there. And you were very random. Like you was very random. It wasn't we would go, I wouldn't hear from you for like 2 months, and then you out the blue just send a text and ask. I'm like, what the fuck? What is, you know what I'm saying? Where did she go?
Since you brought it up, you know why?
Why?
Because you remember we were supposed to go on a date, and then you called like an hour before you're supposed to go on a date and was like, "Hey, I'm gambling."
That's when you decided to give me a chance. I'm saying through the court, when I was chasing you.
Oh,
when it was just so long.
It was a while.
And I know you had other things going on, but the other thing is, it was starting to be. Let me use the word that I'm searching for. It was starting to be discouraging. I was like, for me, because I'm like, okay, listen, I know that I'm not at a point where I got to do, but every guy, you want somebody that you don't want nothing that's easy, first of all. So that I admired the chase for a little while. I admired the chase for probably 4 or 5 months. But damn, when it gets to be 6 to 10 to 12 months, ain't nobody trying to chase that damn long.
Here's the reason why I did not equate to a whole year, because as you said, it was something random. So it wasn't like every day for a year you were trying to pursue me. It was random on both of our parts. It just so happened we met at one time and then we came back at another time. But it wasn't like it was
almost to a year.
It wasn't
to the point, wasn't
constant pursuit, huh?
It was almost a year to the point.
It was almost a year to the point.
If another month, it would have been a year to the point. And you say it was random, but initially it was pretty heavy first. You know what I'm saying? When I say from probably February until probably about April-ish, May-ish.
It was a few months.
It was pretty heavy, and it got very discouraging. It got very discouraging where I was about to give up, but luckily I didn't, because look at us now. Because I'm glad I didn't give up. All right, so the ghosting, back on the ghosting deal. Does anybody want to chime in? I've got some more people on here. I've got a DJ Greyhound. Shout out to you. Look like Lil Richard is on here. Valencia is on here.
Let me tell y'all something about Lil Richard. Lil Richard is, let me tell you something. I don't care where I see him at. We're going to be at the grocery store, at the club, at another club. I don't care. That is my guy. And I just want y'all to know, listen, from just my first time meeting him, like he is that dude. And we've never even sat down and had a full-fledged conversation, but he is just that dude. Like he is probably one of the realest. He is just that guy. He's that dude. And he's like 100% for my husband. So anybody that's 100% for him, like let me just tell you, he is just I have adopted him as my brother, like on some real stuff. And we don't see each other probably once every quarter, but he is my guy. He is my guy. I guess want y'all to know. He said he was.
Straight killer. DJ Chris Beats is on here. Don't play with Lil Richard now. I don't know who this is. Pink Dog 13 has joined. Who do you have on Facebook?
That's Kevin. I think. Hey, Kevin. I think that's Kevin.
Kevin.
I don't know. I can't see the people. I thought my nephew was on here. Yeah, my favorite nephew. Ryan.
Shout out to Shell. Shell is on Facebook.
Right? And Yo-Yo. Yeah, that's Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo saying a comment too. She said something about it.
She did. She said she ended up getting her first vaccine. She broke down to get her first vaccine. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Good, Yo-Yo. If you have not been vaccinated again, please go get vaccinated. Okay.
So anyway.
So yeah, ghosting. I guess since nobody wants to chime in, the only thing
it's probably people on there that they've ghosted. They don't be like shit up. No, there's probably somebody on there that they ghosted.
The only thing that I can think of is that person started not to be attractive anymore. They found out about something that they didn't know before. That would cause them to just go away. And I'm with you. They can just say, "Oh, I found this out," or I got a new boo. That person could have gotten a new boo, Netta.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying?
I just don't understand that. Because it is a valuable question to ask, because I don't understand. It will be one thing to pursue somebody for 3 months. But to pursue someone for years and then you just bounce, like you just, whoa.
Your ass waited too long. You should.
Well, you should have figured that out before I said yes.
What I'm saying to you is the reason why they went away is because they waited too long to give me a yes for the date.
Miss me. Listen.
That's probably why. So he tried for a year, right? And she continually said, well, let me ask you this. Did she say why she kept saying no? She didn't put that in there, right? Was she in another relationship? Was she just not feeling that person?
You kind of said that, you kind of said the chase can be something that's exciting, and it is. But women don't like to just give in. Now, there are some that give in easily, especially to a certain type of man. A certain type of man, women feel like I'm not going to miss the opportunity, so I'm gonna go with the first, can we go out? But some women like to be pursued, so there's nothing wrong with being pursued. Because that's me, I like to be pursued because you have to make me feel like you worth my time,
and you do want to find out a little bit more about the person.
Not now because I have my husband, but
yeah, you want to find out a little bit about the person before you go. I mean, if you, male or female, if someone asks you out, you need to do your research and figure out, okay, who they are, check their pages, what they own, where they work, what they about. Because, time is too valuable to be wasting and getting involved with people that, that you're not compatible. So you want to spend some time.
Time is also valuable for you to just tell the damn truth. Just say, we grown.
Do we have any comments down there that we can't see?
No,
you can see them there. Okay.
But we're grown to just say, hey, listen, I thought that, you like to eat crab legs, but you don't, so I don't want to talk to you no more. But, but to not talk to somebody after that time, it's like, damn, like, it is really crazy. Sometimes it have you second guessing yourself. But as I said, I've never pursued and been ghosted. Now I've ghosted people, but I've never been the one to pursue and ghost anybody. So I don't really know, what that is. But
is she concerned? I mean, was she writing in because she was concerned and she was interested in this person after a long time?
I think possibly it's for me, and I can't answer because it seems it may have not just been the first time it has happened, or it's like why would a grown person do that? Why would a grown man and or a grown woman do it?
Oh, wow.
But there was a second part. She had a second question as well.
Shout out to my guy, my brother J Love just joined in.
That's my favorite
Chase
too.
D, your guy Chase D is just on our Instagram Live. And On the Rocks Entertainment, they just joined on our Instagram Live as well. So,
hey, Sean. Our sister Sean just joined.
What up, Sean? What up, baby?
So you want to go to the next one, but we still want you guys to answer about ghosting, right?
Right.
She had another question before you go to that one, so I won't forget because I didn't.
You want to go ahead? You want to talk about that one first, or the last one? Okay.
Let's talk about that one. She also asks.
Same person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She also asks, why do men portray to be single on social media or portray a single lifestyle, knowing that they're in relationships with their children's mother, girlfriend, whatever? Why do they portray a single lifestyle? Like, what is that about? Why?
Well, I mean,
my husband don't do this, so I don't know.
You know, that's kind of a no-brainer question. Like, I think the guys that lie about what they got going on is because let me just tell you this, fellas.
You gonna tell some secrets?
I'm finna tell them some truth.
Oh, okay.
I'm finna help fellas.
Okay.
Fellas, come very close to your phone. I'm about to tell you some very, very important information. These days and times, fellas, you do not have to lie with whoever you involved with. And let me tell you why. Because if the chick is going to go out with you or date you, if she into you enough, she's going to do that regardless if you've got something else.
That's true.
If she's feeling you enough and she's liking you enough, you don't have to lie to the woman like they're the only person that you're dating. They're the only person that you're pursuing. True. If the woman is feeling you, I promise you,
she's gonna do it anyway.
She is going to take a chance with you. As long as you're not married. Some of these women take a chance with you even when you're married. But as long as you're not fully committed to someone, if you be honest with the person and say, listen, here's what's going on. I'm dating, I'm seeing this person. If they feeling you, I promise you, they're going to take a chance. So you don't have to lie. Most of them will respect you enough when you're telling the truth.
Oh, for sure.
And probably still want to date you more because you was honest up front.
That's for sure.
You don't have to lie. That's information free. I'm not charging y'all nothing for that advice. That's free information. Right, babe? I mean,
that's true.
I mean,
that's true because, and that's what turn women off and make women feel some type of way. That's what make us want to choke slam y'all, because don't make that decision for me. And that's what pisses women. I want you guys to know that's what pisses us women off. Don't make that decision for me. So when I say make the decision for me, is basically you didn't trust me. You don't care enough about me to be on some real sugar honey iced tea with me. So you've made the decision to really play me when you could have just been honest and let me make the decision. Let me make the decision if I want to deal with you or not, knowing you have somebody or you coming off the brink of dealing with somebody, but don't make the decision for me, because again, that's when you really want to choke slam somebody. Like you just be on some, when all you got to do is just be real. Just be real and say it.
That comes from confidence. A lot of these guys, I don't know if the echo is coming back, but a lot of these guys are not confident enough. And here's the other thing I think happen a lot of times, and I'm not going to say this is a guy or a girl thing. It could be any sex. A lot of times when you date outside of, your
playing field, your level.
Dating outside of your level. You have to date on your level. When you're dating too far up or too far down, you have to lie to make yourself seem like you're this.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't be 100 with him. I promise you, don't date on your level. So how you ask yourself, how do you know if you're dating on what's in your level?
God, people know that. Listen, so before I go forward, Sean come in and says facts. Danny says right. Don't take away my choice to decide if I want to deal with that. Danny says your comfort zone. Let me just say this. People know, male and or female, you know when you're dating somebody that you probably shouldn't be dating in any circumstance, whether it's someone that's above your dating level or below. Whatever your standards are, you know if you're dating someone that's above your normally dating standards and below your normal dating standards. But what I found to happen is sometimes because people are so ecstatic about dating someone that's not on their same playing field, they're gonna take it all. But because they're just so happy to have that person, rather than just be like, listen, shit, I think I'm a token too. I feel like I'm a good offer to somebody too. They just take it as it comes. So that everybody knows, and if you don't know, then it's a personal problem, but everybody knows when they're dating someone that's either and or above or below their dating standards. Everyone knows that. And
so are we prepared today to give them some things, some key points that will tell you if you're dating above or below
for sure
your level, right?
For sure.
So I think the main thing I'm thinking is compatibility. If you guys don't have anything in common and you find it very hard when you're talking or communicating or you're being with somebody, if you don't have any compatibility, if when we're on the phone and we're talking and we're having the phone conversation and we have nothing in common to talk about, either one of us are dating above or below our level. That's a common thing, that when you don't have anything to talk about, because when you and I talk, baby, we naturally talk with each other and it flows very free. We don't have to search for words to talk. We don't have to be real quiet. We don't have to say that we think that we're going to say something that you might think is dumb, because we're compatible. We're dating on our level.
Right.
But a lot of times this lying comes, and I say just not only for males, but for females as well. This lying comes when you date somebody that you should not be dating. Either they're above your level, they too high. You might be at a 2, they're at a 10, or vice versa. You're at a 8 and they're at a 1. You're dating below.
And that does not, I want you guys to, so Danny, that's what we were trying to think of, dating outside of your league. That's right. So, and I want you guys to understand, it does not mean physical appearance. We're not just talking about dating someone outside your league with a physical appearance. It is just everything. Here's another dead giveaway. If you walk up with around your family, your best friend, your kids, your immediate family, if you walk up with someone and they say, "Damn, you fuck with him," then you know, like, oh yeah, some
people could be hating
no.
babe.
No. I'm not. Listen, I'm saying
some people that love you, some people that care about you, right?
When you're like immediate people that know you, so people that knows you, and it does not mean, babe, that it's a bad thing. They can like, damn, you ain't never dated nobody of that caliber. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your people close to you gonna be like, hey, what's going on? Especially if it's someone that you think it's
below your level.
Yeah, if it's someone that's kind of beneath, like, they're just gonna be like, what the fuck going on here? Like, you struggling? Like, what? You can't get nobody? Like that. So, okay, Danny says, right, it could be education, finances, etc. Yeah, so it's not just physical. I think people have types. So let me say this. There's nothing wrong with types. People can have types. However, when I say outside your league, below and or above, like Danny just said, it is just a match of everything. Understand this. Opposites does attract. So let's be clear.
Right.
So everything doesn't have to be a liking for, or because he liked cherries, I like cherries too. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, there is a such thing as being, just equally yoked. That is a such thing. Like, if you're together and your chemistry, it just feels right, then okay, yes. But if you're together and you gotta force some shit to happen,
yes.
No. Like,
chemistry is so important.
Yeah, if you have to force it, like, let me just say, let me tell y'all what my amazing husband did. So, I don't know if he just thought I was somebody different or whatever, but he's a romantic at heart. He's just a romantic guy, right? So he and I started dating or whatever. I think the first few times, he was like, well, I'm going to buy you this because this is what I want you to wear. Nigga, I need you to buy me what I want to wear. I know how to dress. Like,
that wasn't the cause, though. I wasn't doing that because
I know.
Okay.
I know why you were doing it. Right. But I'm like, I don't need you to dress me. But it was previous times when he did have to dress those, but I don't need to be I didn't need you to buy me. Like, I was straight. I don't need you to address me because I know. But so that's what I mean by that. And then we have all fallen guilty of dating those that probably weren't on our level. I think I've seen some people marry those that where they just were not equally yoked. What happens is that when you date somebody that's probably a lower standard than what you're accustomed to or where you should be,
right, you've
set that person up for failure. You set the opposing party up for failure because when they're no longer with you, they're going to go out seeking someone that's your level or above, knowing
that they were out of league.
You were dating out of your league anyway. Yeah. Understand that you were already dating out of your league. You looked up on this person. You looked up on this guy. You looked up on this girl. But then when you guys don't make it, because you were able to date that caliber person and you looked up on it, now you're going to go out and see if you can find somebody that matches him or her, or that's above that when you're setting yourself up for failure.
Is that why a lot of people stay single for a while? Because they're looking too high?
Absolutely.
They're trying to date too high? Mm-hmm. Because they've gotten lucky and dated somebody who was above their level.
Yes.
And they had some type of relationship with somebody who they probably wasn't supposed to be with in the first. And so they set their standards as, I'm not going to date anybody if they ain't got their own business or they ain't got their own car. They ain't got their own this. They ain't got. but you were dating before. So you cannot set your standards on what you were dating at first because you were dating over your level at first.
Yeah, that was you lucked up, buddy.
Be bad, as my partner 28 say. Like the people who like you.
That's true.
He said, I'm going to like who likes me.
Yeah.
Like who likes you.
Mm-hmm. Danny says, you set yourself up for misery. You do. And what Jay Field say?
Jay Field, first of all, Nova.Kane said, amen.
Yeah.
Jay Field said, shoot for the stars. LOL, always. Jay Field say, shoot for the stars.
Jay Field, you going to set him up.
Yeah, Jay Field, shoot for high as you go. Shoot for as high as you go, Jay Field.
Let me just say this. There's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars. There's nothing wrong with going after what you want. Let me say that. But I do think you kind of set yourself up for just foolishness, because let me just say this. I'm not going to find somebody that, I think that the thing for me, we have to understand that regardless of what we want other people to think and feel, we subconsciously know how we feel about things. So we subconsciously know that I looked up on somebody that I probably shouldn't have dealt with. That the problem and the thing that happens is, I think over time, because they've had something continuous with someone that was above their level, that now gives them to say, oh, okay, yeah, I can be with somebody like that. Oh, let me go out and find that. When you know good and well, baby, that was a wish upon a star. That was a wish upon a star. So you kind of mess yourself up in either way. So I've been on both ends of it. I'm not going to lie. I've been on both.
So to answer her question, people lie because they're unsure if they tell the truth that you're going to stick around. They make that choice for you, and they don't give you the opportunity to make that choice for you.
Don't do that. That's not fair. That's not fair. And it's not just, as I said, it's not just for men, it's women. It's just, that is a big, especially women that's very independent. If there's a woman that's very independent and really have themselves together, one thing you said that I totally agree with is that, if you just tell me what's going on, especially if I have a liking for you, let me make the decision, whether that's me, I want to be a side chick, whether if I want to wait until you end that situation, or I want to help you in this, whatever it is. Tell me, let's be honest, but don't be around, like the message said, don't be around portraying this single life. And then we have to walk up in McCain Mall, and here I see you pushing the stroller with your baby mama with your arm around, and your butt on social media, like
like you're single.
Yeah, like you're single. Like just while we understand social media, people live out their fantasies. People really live out their fantasies on social media. So no one is asking for you to get on social media and basically tell your business or the negative things that's happening in your life or the indifferent things. But to portray that you're single when you know you have a whole little situation, and damn, I mean, it's like, just be who you are. Like the little TikTok, be who you are. Be who you are, and don't just stop playing. Just stop playing, because that's rough. That's rough.
Cool.
Say, hi. Okay, listen. So my favorite person. Let's talk about. Before we're gonna stop, because I have to talk about her too.
Oh Lord.
So Miss Dovey just joined. She said, "Hey, I love you both with my whole heart." We love you too.
We do.
So she had a summer festival in Pine Bluff. You guys know that's my hometown. So there was a summer festival last weekend, babe. Was it last?
It was a couple of weekends.
Weekend before last, I guess. Yeah, weekend before last, winter new week. It was amazing. I've never found, because my husband is in the entertainment business and he hosts. I'm very I critique people in their hosting. So I always kind of see how are they going to feel. So I really had to tell Miss W, can you just sit down right here beside me? Like, have you sat down today? Because she was an amazing host, and the event was awesome.
And I want Miss, how do you pronounce her last name?
Burrow.
Mm-hmm. I want Mr. and Mrs. Burrow to know that we drove all the way back 2 hours. Our baby was in a tournament that was 2 hours away.
Yes.
We drove there that morning and watched her game, and we drove back 2 hours, and then we had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and
go
drive
back the next
2
day.
hours. So we actually drove literally of 6 hours to attend her function. And so you gotta know that she's high on that priority list.
Absolutely.
Did you drive, or was I doing all the drive? You drove back.
I think I drove back.
So actually 8 hours, because we have to drive back. So that was really important to us to attend that. And she supports Empire and all our live music. So it was a blessing to do that.
So while we have you guys on and we're talking about her, because I made a Facebook post about it, I think the next day after we attended the event, but Mr. and Mrs. Burrow, they're very, in Pine Bluff, of course, they're just pillars of the community, have been for a very long time. They're very well respected. If anyone knows, they're very well respected. Ms. W is an instructor, I think, on the yard, as we call on the yard. And just outside of that, she's always had just this lovely personality. She's so amazing. Just seeing her, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to look like when I get to be her age, because she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, but her personality matched. But yes, I just want to publicly tell you, I know we put it on social media, but we both want to publicly tell you that we enjoyed ourselves, and we will definitely be back next year. Thank you so much for being an amazing host. You were so amazing, and
so Mr.
and we love you so much. We love you back. We love you guys too.
And so Mr. and Mrs. Burrow, we'll send you the bill for their shout out. All right, so our last I'm just kidding. Our last question is, it has to do with women, right?
Oh, wow.
So, when you are dating, and we're talking about women, we want you to chime in on this. Miss Burrows, it's all right for you to chime in even though you're married and you're not dating anymore. Is it all right for a woman when she is just dating to date multiple guys? Is it all right? Should she concentrate, if she's dating somebody, should she concentrate on just dating one person at a time? Or is it all right for her to go out with John on Monday, Timothy on Tuesday, Paul on Wednesday, Joe on Friday? That's
excessive, babe.
Is it? Well, I mean, that's what dating. Is it all right for her to date multiple people, or will people call her a garden tool? And y'all know what a garden tool is.
Yes.
Is it all right?
Yes.
We need you to chime in. Is it all right? Facebook, IG. Let me know if it's all right. This woman wrote in. She wants to know: Is it okay? Is it okay to date multiple guys? Or girls these days.
Let's classify. So I want to classify. And Miss W says, "Oh wow, thank you. We were so honored." She laughed at you saying, "You sent her a bill. You gonna send her a bill?" And she said that she and Mr. Burrow still date. We still date too. So that's why I want to clarify. So I want to clarify single status.
Okay.
So if you're a single, yes, if you're a single status female, is it okay to date multiple guys while you're in the dating process while you're single? Or should you just focus your attention on one guy?
You want me to go first, or you gonna go first?
You can go first, and then I think Kevin. What did
Kevin said, "I think that's perfectly fine." Yeah, okay, I think that's perfect. So here's the kicker for me. As long as she's not doing the yum bouncy bounce with all of these people, I think if you're dating is just what that is. Dating, you might go out with this person on Monday. As long as you're not promising them anything, y'all not in any commitment, it's all right to date. Now, if you start sleeping with John and Paul and Tom, and then that's when we can call you, like you're the garden tool. All right. If you're dating is exactly what it is. It's dating. You have to, sometimes you have to date around in order to see what you like or what you don't like, I think. What do you think, Netta?
But who knows that you're doing a yum bouncy bounce with everybody? Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I think that it's a double standard. I think it's really weird because now you've kind of said it's okay to date multiple guys while you're single and dating as long as you're not being intimate with them. However, the other side to that is that it will be okay for a man to date multiple women and sleep with each of them.
Well, you didn't ask that.
Well, I'm just saying that would be that's the norm. So it's like it's just a double standard. So in my opinion, I feel that it's okay to date multiple guys while you're single. I mean, it's dating. It's just dating. So we live in the world that double standard is something that we will never, ever, ever be able to find a solution for, because that's just what it is. It's just a double standard. I think it's fine. I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I've seen some women say that they wouldn't do it, but most women are like, yeah, I think it's fine to date multiple men while I'm in my dating period.
Maybe you got some comments over there you want to?
Let's see. Yes. So Danny says, I think as long as the woman has made it clear to those that she is seeing that they are not exclusive and she is actively dating others. I agree. Yo-Yo says, absolutely. As long as I'm single and not in a committed relationship, I would date whomever I please. So it goes back to what we kind of said about the other topic, is that it's just transparency. I think that if you're being honest with whomever, but even with the transparency, men wouldn't take it the way we would take it. So I think if we tell a guy, hey, we can go out on a date. However, I'm seeing other people. We're dating too. Mm-hmm. Well, he's going to say, well, no, we can't date, because it's something about men wanting women to be more exclusive to them. Or they're going to say, well, I'm not going to be taking you on a date if you're going out with such and such. However, if a man tells us, hey, so we're dating, let's just date and see how this goes, what's happened, I'm dating other people, you guys will automatically expect us to say, oh, okay, that's fine. It's a double standard all around. It's kind of the whole thing. It's just a complete double standard, I believe. I really do.
I don't think it is. I mean, some might. I think that dating is exactly what you say it is dating. I think that you have to date in order to kind of know what you like and kind of know what you dislike. And so, like the young lady said, I mean, you have to be honest about what you're doing. And if both of you guys are honest about, you shouldn't hold that person to just going out with you. Mm-hmm. That person shouldn't hold you to just going out with him or her. And dating is just that. And I think once it becomes where you guys decide that you're not going to date, I think you should be transparent and y'all should have that conversation, and Absolutely. You can make that decision together. Mm-hmm. But dating is just what it is, dating. And
I'm going to ask you another question, too.
No one should think that. Yeah, no one should think that, when you're dating somebody that you just should be stuck with dating one person, I think.
Okay, so, hi, Tasha. She says it's definitely a double standard. Sean says it depends if you're going to have a mutual agreement with the opposite sex. You're currently around now. If you want to have options, have an agreement before it goes far. Just be friends and date whomever you want. So what then happens? Either way. So what then happens? Sean, like you said, what happens if we know that we're dating? However, we come to an agreement and we just say, hey, we're dating, having fun, and that thing happens where someone now has an interest of feelings. What changes? I've always seen that be a dynamic in a relationship or a situationship, that changes a dynamic when someone starts to get feelings. Now it's just like, no, pump your brakes. Or it can be accepted. So it's easily for you to accept me saying we're just dating and we're doing our thing or whatever. But once feelings get involved, because the dating process that we're doing, it changes the whole dynamic of what's happening. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that? What happens? Well,
I think first of all, when you're dating, you should find out if that person is interested in being in a relationship off the jump. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we might be wasting our time. I might want a relationship. You might not want one. Vice versa. You might want a relationship, and I just might want to be single. I may have come out a long, committed relationship, and I don't want to be committed. So I think what's real important is that sooner rather than soon on your dating, you should really get to know that what your mate want just by asking, like, hey, what's your preference? Are you trying to be in a relationship? Do you like being single? Mm-hmm. So that you don't set yourself up to be with somebody and gain feeling for somebody who that's not what they want.
That's true.
A lot of that stuff can be figured out up front if you have great conversation about what your needs and wants are. And if you're honest about that thing, I think feelings get involved when you tell somebody, hey, I'm looking for this woman. Here's a lie again. You ain't never really, you just wanna do the yum bouncy. You don't really commitment. And then some people they keep dating, and if you're normal, if you're spending time with somebody that you're attracted and you like, you at some point in time will gain feelings. That's true. Right? Mm-hmm. So you need to be honest about what you're trying to accomplish at the beginning and make sure it lines up with what he or she is trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, you probably should cut the ties, because you want to be dating with somebody that has the same goals ultimately that you, and they could be to be single. We might have the goals, and neither one of us want to be in a committed relationship.
That's the thing. If I'm single and I'm dating to date, don't want to be in a relationship, the caliber of man that I'm probably dating is probably not going to be the caliber of man that I want to be in a relationship with and or marry.
I got that. I get it.
Because of that reason. Like,
I ain't trying to be with you.
Yeah, there will be no way I can, somebody that have everything I'm seeking in a mate, there will be no way for us to just be dating and I not get feelings. So it's going to be a difference of the guy that I'm dating to get to know is probably going to be a different caliber of man than the guy that I would date to try to be in a relationship with and have something with.
Right.
It's a different person, different people.
Jay Phil say cool, but stop posting pics of every man you date. So Jay Phil, so is it not cool if you're going out with on a date with somebody, you guys are not committed, but is it, so I guess it's not cool to snap a picture of you and this date because you don't know who all they might be pursuing and dating. So you only take selfies or you only take pictures with this person when you are committed to these?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen so many different memes and things that says that, like, listen, we so tired of seeing you last week, this is my babe, my boo, we get married. This week it's this is the one right here. Then next week is, I thought he was the one, but he
are
really
people
the
really
one.
Posting pictures of them though?
Yes.
Yeah.
People does. That's why he said that, because it happens. Okay, wait, I missed the comments over here. So let's see. Sean says, a man can have sex with multiple women and still pick whomever he wants to settle down with. A woman can't. We will be called the garden tool, LOL. True. Ms. Dovey says, dating should be an opportunity for you to get to know someone. I was always raised that you should not date anyone you don't plan to marry, which is why I married at 18. Oh, wow. That's true.
You shouldn't date anybody that you don't want to be with.
Don't date anyone you plan to marry. Yes, she said that's why I got married at 18 and we were celebrating 33 years. I said, what?
Congratulations!
Congratulations! We'll have to get dinner. Guys have to come up so we can have dinner. Let's see. And then Tasha says some men treat women like a Carfax.
A Carfax? What do you mean by that?
Like a Carfax report? Like, I guess information, like getting a whole fax. Like you're trying to get information about the person. Carfax, whole fax, you know.
Okay.
Let's see. Sean says, yes, I definitely agree. Miss Dovey says, don't waste major time on minor relationships. Amen, Miss Dovey. Sean says, right. Danny says, let's see. Yeah, the proper expectation as far as intentions has to be set in the beginning.
Yep.
When it's not, that's when it's complicated or turned sour. That's really true. But then let me ask you this. So that's before I read the rest of the comments. So sometimes the expectation that you have going into something is not what it comes out of it. Like, I think when you and I were dating, we were just kind of like, I think I said, I don't never want to get married again. Or I don't ever want to, it's just kind of, we just do it. And then here we are like, oh my goodness, this guy's,
So I don't know that I don't think that I had the expectations of not getting close enough to, I think we both, like you said that because we had been married before that we didn't want it.
Yeah.
But I think we both knew that our long-term ultimate goal was to find somebody to settle down with and be with. It ain't cool to be the old cat in the club with nobody. I keep telling all my friends, and if you a dude that does not plan to ever settle down, and it doesn't have to be marriage, but settle down with somebody and spend some time, and
that's true.
You lost. You just lost. All that player shit goes out the window when you're older. When you know better, you do better. And so if you this player shit is out the window.
So Ms. Debbie, I want to ask you a question. So you said that basically, which I kind of agree, you date with the intentions to marry, but when do you make the decision to do that? So we have a lot of single people that watch our podcast, even though it's a relationship. So it's broad for everyone. So Ms. Debbie, most people don't date some people don't date to marry. Some single people just date to have fun or to just kind of do their thing. So, and do you believe that you should always date to marry in any situation? So when you're dating, should it always be dating to marry, or is there a time that comes?
And I think she said that you don't want to, but I don't think that everybody's desire is to get married too. So I mean, you gotta take that in consideration. Everybody does not desire to be married. There are some people that may be fine with dating somebody in a committed relationship. There might be people that may be fine with not having commitment and just kind of bounce around. So I think everybody goes. Our end goals are not all alike.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think it goes back to once you sit down and you date somebody, you should have the conversation about what your long-term goals are.
Oh, that's true.
And you should be honest about those things.
But those things change. I mean, they change.
They do.
They can change in either direction. It can change by me saying I just want to date, I don't want to marry, or it can change from I want to marry, but then I don't want to date because of just so many different circumstances.
And so when it changes, you should also be honest about the change as well, right?
That's true. So let's see. So Danny says true. Sean said absolutely and laughing. Tasha says I once dated someone and told them that I didn't want to be in a relationship, but eventually I was feeling them and I had to hold to that. See, that was going to ask it, and then she says it's exactly what I mean. What happens in that? Because there have been situations where you're dating someone, or let's just say not dating. You have a partner. Y'all just doing a yum yum bouncy bounce, right?
So you're not dating.
Y'all just doing a yum yum bouncy bounce, whatever. And now you have there was something about that person that made you now have more feelings. Do you do what Tasha said, which is because you
hold to it?
Yeah, because you entered into an agreement saying that you didn't want to be in a relationship, y'all just want to have fun. Do you now just suppress your emotions just to keep having some type of dealings with this person, or is there a time to express it?
I just said when it changes, because it changes. She initially said she just wanted to have fun with the guy. At some point in time, she started liking the guy. Mm-hmm. If you're like most normal people, if you're dating somebody and hanging out with somebody that you like, most normal people are going to, if for some long period of time, at some point in time, you're going to gain some feelings. So I think that when it changes, I think you have to be an adult and come back and say, I know I said that, but listen here. It's changed, but you have to be open that they may not be open to the change as you're open to that change. They might be still on, I want to continue dating, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't think because you've had that change that they're going to be also cool with that change, because they might be still on the same agreement. They might be still on the same conversation that we just having fun. Now you want to start falling out in love. Now you want to start coming by my house unannounced. Now you want to start, trying to figure out who I'm stalking my Facebook page. Now so you have to make sure that those things are communicated, and you have to be open that change might not be, felt from the other party. They might still be on the old agreement.
Yeah, but then what happens when, is that somebody saying something? I'll let you read your comments, and then I'll tell you what Mr.
Pink Dog 13 said, I think you have to hold on to original understanding until you can have a conversation to change it.
So, Kevin, you think that they should just hold on to it and suppress it and not tell the person because it's going to change what the original agreement was?
Is this Kevin here, Pink Dog? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's saying until you have a conversation to change it. So I think what he's saying is that you have to be on that old agreement until y'all sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, but some people don't want to. I think that's what Tasha was saying, is that because she held on to it and not say anything to the person, because then it will probably ruin because here's the thing, if I say, this is what we entered into, especially with guys. If I say this is something we entered into and I agreed to it, but then things change, in fear of me not having no dealings with you, I probably won't mention to say anything. Yes.
Well, then that becomes a problem, because now you start doing stuff because you liking and loving. I'm still operating under we just friend and we just doing the yum yum bounce around, and then you got a misunderstanding. I'm still going out with Tasha, Sammy, or whatever that, but you didn't stop now, because now you having feelings and you liking. Mm-hmm. So you need to bring that to the table. You need to conversate about it. You never know. He could be saying, okay, well, I was just waiting on you to say that, so I'm cool with that. But then he also could be like, well, no, I mean, I ain't feeling like you feeling. I'm not feeling the same thing. But that still, you might want to bring that up rather to continue down a dead end road. You guys are not on the same page, and it ends up being a problem. You need to talk about it.
I think so. Ms. W answered my question that I asked, and she says, "You will know when you're ready, when you no longer have to look for anyone else's approval." I guess it answers it. Yeah. I think, but what happens when because here's the thing. Like, let me just use myself for an example. I see a lot of memes and different things that says, or people say, don't give your mate don't do wifely duties as a girlfriend. With those that I care about and date, I am a nurturer. So I want to take care of my mate, whomever I'm dealing with. So I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean, I'm going to make sure they're fine, they're okay, because I'm just a nurturer and protector by heart. So why do I have to water myself down to not give you those things because I don't have a position yet? That's what if that's just who I am. That's just who I am, and that's just kind of what I do. So any woman, and I think any woman that, you know, whether it's an attraction to a man or not, we're just nurturers by nature. By nature, we're nurturers, and we want to take care of our mates and whomever. So it's like, okay, do I just not do this? Because they said, why buy the cow? You can get the milk for free. Well, I don't know, because I like to do it. But that's hard for those that are that way. That's a hard thing to deal with. It's difficult.
Yeah, Jay Fields said you can't hide it because a real dude will see the signs.
Do you really see the signs?
Yeah, that's what Joe's saying. Joe's saying you can't hide it when they start having feelings for you, because a real dude can tell that they've entered into another agreement.
How can you tell?
Other than, I don't know, that's what Jay Fields is saying.
I'm asking, do you agree? Do you agree?
Well, I mean, I think you should be able to tell if a woman is entering into the love column rather than the like columns. You know, her conversations, her actions will change. It used to be cool that I ain't got to call you every night when I get home. Now you have an attitude because I ain't calling you. Now, you used to be cool with me going, hanging out with the partners and calling you the next morning. I ain't got to call you when I get to the house.
Okay.
Now you start, okay, what time did you get home? Why you didn't call me? Well, shit, I ain't never call you. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So it start changing, and behavior will start changing. You know, how you conversate, it will change. When you spend time, you used to be cool. I can come see you 2 times a week. Now you want me to be there 5 nights a week. All of those things will start changing. Signs you will see, like Joe say, you will see the signs on a girl or guy. You should start seeing the change behavior. And so that's why it's so important to just say, hey, we probably need to sit down and talk. And I think at some point in time, like you're saying, they're probably in fear of losing you altogether.
Oh, sure.
But you probably want to go ahead and cut those ties instead of going down that dead end, because the longer you deal with somebody that you're in love with, he and like with, it's going to be an issue. You might as well cut it at 6 months rather than go a year and a half, and now you really on some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Cut it in 30 days because, sir.
Go on and be honest and tell when your feelings change. And like I say, you might not know that their feelings might change as well. You might
just waiting on someone else to say something.
Just might be waiting on to communicate. But either way, I think it's always best to be 100% honest and just communicate that your feelings have changed. You got any other comments?
Miss Debbie, are you still on here? We're gonna do we do this every season. We have a live panel taping, and so my husband and I admire those that have a long-standing marriage. Those are the things we look forward to, of course. So surely he doesn't care. He doesn't mind. But I would love to have you and Mr. Burrow be a part of our live panel when this happens. So it will happen this season.
We have got to start, and we keep saying we're going to do it, start getting our guests back. I think we were kind of, waiting a little bit for the COVID to lift, and now that our numbers are continuing to go back up, we just got to do what we got to do. It might be an opportunity to have the Burrows on the show as one of our guests. If you're wanting to wait until we have
I want to do the
live panel. Both of those things are fine, but I mean, to be with someone 31 years is what 33. She said. 33 years is a blessing, and you've got to know and have some information, because that's what this podcast is about. It's about building relationships, being very transparent about what things are. We've kind of put our situation on the line, telling a lot of our business, and hope that the good Lord says, to much is given, much is required. The Lord has blessed us to go through a lot of things, and some struggling couple, it doesn't have to be a married couple, may be struggling with some of the things that we struggle with. We're on year number 8, and somebody may be struggling with the issue that we had in year number 1. So, we have an obligation to help others. And so that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast, to help relationships. So whenever you're ready to have the Burrows on, I guess she needs to get, give her husband, permission that he wants to come on, but I'm all down for it.
Sean says, so Ms. Burrow says, we would love to. Sean says, when are the Love Wins shirts coming? It's time to drop them ASAP. This is a real movement.
I heard that, Sean.
I will be. So this is for those that's kind of watching for the first time, this is our 3rd season, and it kind of started off as this. It really started off, for those that don't know, it kind of started off as a a Christmas gathering that we had at our home with married couples and relationships. Those were in a serious relationship, and it was very intimate. I think it was maybe 8 of us, 8 couples.
Yeah,
it was very intimate. And in the intimate event that we had, we found out that a lot of the things that we had been through or would probably go through
struggles.
It was very universal. And so a lot of times people are so afraid to talk about their problems and or issues in hopes of or in fear of being judged. So you guys know that my husband is very well known, and so a lot of people try to assume what goes on in our home, in our marriage. And so we figure who best to tell our story but us. And so that intimate event really kind of shed some light to knowing that we weren't the only one going through a lot of things. And so we're not afraid we talk about our things. And so our podcast is built on transparency. We talk about things. We let you guys in on a lot of our secrets and things that we've been through, but it has only been for the better of the healthiness of those that are either married or looking to get married. I'm not saying we're experts in it. I mean, we're still growing to, love each other and care on each other. But it is amazing how we have people tell us that, I'm so glad y'all talked about that. I'm so glad that you said that. because we did that or we're going through that. So this over here is real. Like, this is a real, genuine, he still gets on my nerves. Yes. But it is a real thing. And so we really wanted to reach out to those, not just our age group, those that are younger and those that are older, because as my husband said, we wanted to kind of be a blessing to those and understand that everybody goes through something. We have been through the worst, the minimum and the worst. However, we're here, we're still standing. So yeah, it's amazing. So, and you guys keep making us come back. So we try to take a hiatus. Like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But you guys make us come back because I've said this all the time. I just miss it the last couple of times, like because of the views and because you guys watching us and kind of have high demand, like we're really kind of nationally syndicated. So that's why you can get our podcast everywhere, because you guys have basically ran up our numbers. So,
and so if you want to be a guest on the podcast,
yes.
Send an email to,
what's the email address, babe?
It is stewart.lovewins@gmail.com. Stewart, STEWART, .lovewins with an S @gmail.com. Okay.
Thank
so
you.
we are wrapping up episode number.
Thank you. That I Dream Betty Idol. Thank you.
Yeah, that she is on the show. I can't think of the name of the show that she is on.
Thanks.
Cartel. I Dream of Betty. She's on the show Cartel. She's a
oh, cool.
Yeah, she's on that show, and she's trying to come to Empire too.
Come on to Empire.
Yeah, come on. So if you want to be a guest, send that email. If you want to be a sponsor, send that email. We will do personal endorsements and all of that. Just send us an email, and we're like I said, we are back
do
on
it
our
right, babe. Tell them what we'll do is to be a sponsor and all that stuff. You're just speeding through.
When you say, what do you mean? What do we do?
Like if they want to become a sponsor of the show, or if they want us to advertise their material or something that they have going on our show. So
my wife, if it's something that she has to endorse, she has to personally use it. Is that what you wanted me to say?
Yes. So because our show, thank you, Miss Burrow. See, I just love her. First thing I can say, we're a power couple and we're family. Absolutely. And of course, if you guys can see, Miss Burrow just tagged, but basically pinned our email address on to the podcast in the comments.
I know I'm trying to end this so that it doesn't go very long, but I got to ask a question. When people say you guys are a power couple, what is the definition of a power couple, Netta?
What is the definition of it?
Ply
said...
Because I really need to know if you and I are really a power. Do you consider us to be a power couple?
We a power couple. Let's see what applies. I think it just relates on to those that I think some people think that what we have is very pretentious, but it is very genuine, very real. However, I think it's
fake? They think that our stuff is fake.
Yeah, absolutely, you know that.
Really?
Yeah, I think you know that. But
I didn't.
You did, babe. But anyway, but it's I think a power couple are let me just say this, like we have really kind of stood in the gap for each other. There have been some individuality, and you guys know there's been times we don't like each other, but I think it is just you do well in your career, I do well in mine, and we're raising our children. Very genuine love. There is a lot of people get a little bit offended when you say black love, but it is definitely something about a black love. Like
right.
The only people that can get offended by that is probably those of other races. Nevertheless, I think it's just really just kind of having themselves together. I think a power couple are just those who stand in a gap with each other. You go through struggles, you come out of it, you go on, you live your life, you basically build a foundation as a husband for your family, and
we work well together as well.
I think
we work very well together. A lot of the businesses and ideas that the wifey comes up with, even though they're not my ideas, I support them and I try to see them through, as well as my wife is very supportive. She's, you will come to Empower. Sometimes you might see her behind the bar. You might see her at the door. I mean, so, as working together to build an empire.
Yes.
And we really work well. It is very genuine. Sometimes, the majority of the time, she doesn't like me. Like, for real. Like, I'm so easygoing that nothing ever. This woman here sometimes doesn't like me. And so I guess that's the benefit of a marriage, because you have to take the bitter with the sweet. And, there's a lot of sweetness, but sometimes there is some bitterness. But, yeah, I just wanted to ask that, because a lot of people refer to us as power couples. And
it is a compliment. Let me say that. It is really a compliment, and I appreciate those that's really paying attention to what we do, what we are, what we have. Again, I think there may be just some opinion in not being something that's genuine, but I'm telling y'all, like, we really, really stood.
It is genuine. I can promise you that.
It is very genuine. We really, really stood in a gap for each other. If you go back and listen to other podcasts, you can, because we have made it through. Let me just say this so we can kind of end our show. Anything that may cause, not just African American, anything that may have caused divorce for other families, he and I have been through it all. Everything that would be
years.
In just 8 years. So everything that may have caused other people to get divorced, we've been through it, and we came through it. So that's the reason why we don't classify ourselves as no power couple, but we do give homage to ourselves for going through what we've been through. And it has not always been cookies and cream. And I think it was just been, people think it's fake or it's pretentious because we didn't lead on to let you guys know we were going through anything. We're not supposed to. My mama told me, don't let nobody know what's going on in your house. So I was not supposed to get on social media and tear down my husband because he and I were going through problems and or issues at any time. But I think because now we get it and understand each other, it just seems different for other people. So it's just it's real. It's genuine, I promise. Let's see. Let's read. Okay, so Miss Lipsy, hey. Yes. She says, you all made it through any and everything that was designed to tear you apart. That's for the power couple. Tasha says we definitely complement each other. And Miss Burrow says a power couple, a couple that give others hope. She said you are an example of a beautiful marriage and relationship. Thank you.
Thank you again.
And Tasha said other people. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's what that is.
So just keep in mind, I guess we're wrapping up. Keep in mind that today's episode, which is episode number 5, will be brought to you in memory of my best friend, Joel, DJ No Name Ratliff. As we said earlier, prayers goes out to Nakia. All of his family are in Minneapolis, his children. And we're going to be doing something to celebrate his life really, really soon. And we will keep you on that. Please follow our social media, which is Shanetta Stewart on Facebook, B-Level Wifey on IG. Mine is B-Level ENT on IG, and Brian Stewart with the Y, BRYAN, right?
So I had someone really quickly. I had someone challenge earlier, and when COVID happened, I had someone to challenge, myself and my husband to say, well, you guys have a huge platform, and you guys should use your platform for what was going on with COVID then. And so I was like, well, I mean, whatever. So I am going to do that now. I had to witness my husband deal with COVID, and it was probably the most extreme that I've ever seen before. So you guys, please go get vaccinated. Like, please, please, please. I'm telling you, I promise you, I was straddling the fence, but please get vaccinated, just to kind of protect yourself, your family, those you love. I mean, you could be a carrier. You probably asymptomatic. You may not get any symptoms. You probably have had it. However, to protect those that you love and care about, we want you to be on here on earth with us. We lost my father-in-law to it. So outside of my husband having it, we lost my father-in-law to that main thing. So please go vaccinate, get yourself vaccinated. So we're definitely going to use this platform for that. Go get vaccinated. They're doing it at any pharmacy. You know, I don't know if maybe our live taping, we can probably get someone to come out and give vaccinations, but go get vaccinated to protect yourself and your family. Please do. We want you guys to continue here on earth with us for a while so you can keep watching our podcast and coming to Empire.
All right, and so these podcasts live any place that you can find the podcast, any apps that you can download your podcast. Search for Love Wins by the Stewards. That's the audio part. The visual will live on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel at Brian Stewart Sr., and that's Brian with the Bryan Stewart Sr. So we're gonna wrap it up and we will see you next week.
Thank y'all for watching.
Peace out.
Miss W, we'll get with you on coming on the show, but you guys have a good evening.
Good night.